Hey, what's up? Like, totally time for 90210.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the 90210 show. My name is Mark. With me as always is my fiance Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week. Here it is, November 6th, 1998.
It is.
I knew that right off the top of my head. No long, unnecessary pause at all.
I moved his calendar.
We edited out 5 minutes of me counting, trying to figure out what day it was. But welcome back to the 90210 show, everybody. Looking at our 90210 poster.
Yeah.
You know what I know?
The poster that has Andrea and Dylan.
That's what I was going to say. You know,
and Brenda.
You know what I notice about our 90210 poster? That cast is much better than what we've got right now.
Right.
Like, I was never Andrea's biggest fan, but I would love Andrea back now.
I don't know. They really mutilated her character before they sent her on her way.
Yeah, I miss Brenda, of course.
Brenda was awesome.
Best actress on the show. But I really am missing right now Luke Perry. Because...
Are you?
Yeah, because...
You got a little man crush on Luke Perry?
No, because I hate his fucking replacements.
Yeah.
Annoying ass... What's his name?
Noah.
Noah, yeah.
Or maybe the actor's Joel. I don't know.
No, his name's Noah. I can't remember the actor's name.
I feel like it's Joel.
But the character... Maybe it is. I don't know. But the character's name is Noah. I wish you were no more.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I don't like his character. He's boring.
I feel like he's on his way out.
I hope so.
Like, just the way this episode went, I feel like he's on his way out.
He might
because
be.
if Donna and David get back together, I feel like Noah's gonna be like, peace out. I mean, he has
Noah should be peace out.
Yes, he has the club. That is one thing that ties him there, but.
But how difficult would it be just to gift the club to David?
But why is he going to gift the club to David if David takes his woman?
The David. Michelangelo's the David should own the club.
Yes, he should.
But
he started the club, right?
No,
Steve did.
Technically, Steve and Luke Perry, Dylan's character, Dylan, started the club, and then Valerie got in with it with Rush. I mean, Rush and Dylan were Dylan, and what's his name? Nat were the original investors in the club. They were the three owners.
Okay.
And then Valerie bought Rush out with the money that freak gave her.
What the fuck was his name?
I can't remember his name anymore.
Chansey?
Jonesy.
Chansey.
He was named after the Las Vegas buffet clams.
There we go.
Chansey.
Yes, Jonesy.
Yeah, the money he gave her. And then she bought him out, so Rush was no longer there. Steve also wasn't... Like, he was there with Rush, but he wasn't... Because remember the house fire, he wasn't allowed to own or operate, like, a club.
Oh, yeah.
It's part of his legal agreements.
That's weird.
So he was just kind of like there, like it was his initial idea.
Yeah, he was helping with it, but he wasn't putting up or getting any of the money.
He gave the idea to Dylan. He was like, "This would be a great idea to do with your money."
Yeah.
And then Dylan was like, "Let's have somebody steal all my money." Or that happened after. I don't remember.
I don't know.
Anyway, so this episode, crimes and misdemeanors. Where do you want to start, Carol?
I mean, I guess we can talk about the criminal first, because that's how the episode starts.
The smooth criminal.
Annie.
What album is that on?
I don't know.
Is that on? That's not Thriller, I don't think. I think it's on Dangerous, maybe?
Sure.
I don't remember. Anyway, go ahead.
So, when Kelly is getting ready to close up shop for the night, there's one person left in the clinic who looks like a professional wrestler.
A little, I guess.
He's a big dude.
Yeah.
And
he looks intimidating to Brandon.
Well, he's trying to look intimidating to Brandon. So
Brandon looks so small. I bet he's short in real life.
Yeah.
Jason Priestley.
I mean, I can't tell in the poster. I tried to look for a reference, but
he's taller than Brenda. His head's on top of hers.
Yeah, so this dude's waiting to see the doctor. Mm-hmm. They're just chit-chatting a little bit. And in comes Brandon, like, Kelly, hey, why don't... She's like, we're getting ready to close. He's like, cool, why don't I take you out to dinner?
I thought we missed an episode.
Right? Like, because he would think that's going to be okay?
He was so bold.
Yeah. And she's like, no, thanks. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I want you to leave.
And then professional wrestler guy's like, the door's right there.
Yeah, he stands up to say that, too.
Hey, brother, the door's right there.
And then the doctor guy comes out, and him and Brandon check each other out, like, the competition.
Yeah.
And then Brandon's like, the door's over here, you said. Yeah. that was the only thing he did in that whole scene that I was like, okay, that was cool. That was all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does. He seems like a douche. He just comes in like demanding her time, demanding to take her to dinner. Like,
yeah.
Why does he keep thinking that she owes him anything?
I don't know.
It's ridiculous.
Inexplicable.
Yeah. And I mean, like, he's not even trying to pull on her heartstrings or, manipulate her necessarily. No. He's just very like forceful and matter of fact. And that's not the way to go.
No. I mean, if you want a girl to do something you want him to do, full body massage. That's my recommendation, fellas.
It does work, yeah.
He should have been like, come over for a free full body massage, Kelly.
Yeah, maybe.
But anyway, so so he leaves, and then the wrestler guy or whatever, he looked like a normal guy to me, but
he seemed big. I don't know.
Wrestler guy comes over and he's like, hey, we're good friends, doctor.
Yeah, they know each other.
And the doctor's like, yes, we are.
He's there because his back is bothering him. And then the doctor explains to Kelly, which this seems kind of like, I don't know if they just don't care about patient confidentiality at all
guess not.
Beverly Hills or what. But he just explains to Kelly when he leaves, oh, this guy was in prison for murder.
Yeah, well, because the guy says, I got the article that you sent me about the guy that got the award from, like, the guards beating him up or whatever. He's like, but the guards didn't hit me. And he's like, well, they should have helped you. And he was like, I never said anything because I would have gotten it worse if I did or whatever. And they go, like, he's like, we'll go in the office. I'm going to gossip with Kelly and I'll be there in a minute. And that's when Kelly's like, he was in prison, huh? And she's like, yeah. He goes, yeah. She's like, he seems like such a nice guy. He's like, yeah, you wouldn't imagine he would have murdered a human being.
Right. It's like, is there no confidentiality?
I guess that's not medical information.
No, but still.
But yeah, it's fucked up to, like, especially if they're like friends or like I don't know how they're friends exactly. Apparently, this guy, when he was 17 years old, killed someone and then was in jail for 20 years.
Yeah.
So more than half of his life he's spent in prison.
That's awful.
So he's 37 now.
He seems way too nice to have spent half his life in prison. You'd think that, they'd turn him into an asshole in 20 years in prison.
Exactly. It's like that movie American History X that we just watched. He went into prison and became nicer. That happens all the time.
I guess, apparently, at least in the TV world.
I forgot to do this joke when we did American History X, so I'll just do it now. I was worried about seeing American History X. I didn't know if I'd be able to understand the plot because I haven't seen American History's
come on.
Through IX.
IV.
No, IV would be 4. X is 10, so it'd be IX 9.
All right, fine. Anyway. You're silly.
I love that joke. Yes.
Yeah. So Kelly gets the information about the dude and decides that she's going to take it to Brandon. Like, she's been avoiding talking to Brandon for weeks.
Yeah.
And now she's like, oh, maybe somehow Brandon's going to help this guy.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like, yeah, that wouldn't have been my first thought.
She's like, Brandon, do a story about this murderer that got out of prison. It's going to help him get a job. What?
Yeah. The writers smoke crack in the writer's room. I don't understand. And, like, they put these things out there and then they just make them come true because you can tell because they're just the puppeteers. It's there's nothing realistic about the storylines in the show.
Agreed.
Anyway. She says, hey, write a story about this guy. It'll help him out. And he tries to argue with her, but then he does. He goes to talk to the dude. He just shows up at his house, and the guy recognizes him as the guy at the medical clinic.
I think, doesn't the guy go to... Oh, no, you're right. He does go to his house first.
Well,
I'm thinking of a different scene.
They had a phone conversation, but then he showed up, and, like, it didn't seem like he was expecting him.
Well, I guess that's probably true. It really didn't seem that much like he was expecting him.
He's like, you could have asked this on the phone or whatever. And Brandon insults him and somehow manages to turn it all around to the point that he's taking him out to dinner. He just wants to feed everybody.
Apparently.
But, like, I'm trying to remember what he did to piss him off when he got there. Do you remember? He said some shit.
Well, he kind of talks, like, around the situation and everything, and, like, he doesn't say anything exactly specifically, but the guy's like, yeah, I see. Keeping yourself close to the exits, not letting your guard down. He points out all the things. Like, he gave him something to drink. He's like, guess you weren't thirsty either because he didn't drink the thing, whatever he gave him. And he's like, yeah, people just look at me as, like, my worst mistake or whatever. Like, you can't treat me like a person or whatever.
Which Brandon identifies with because of the cheating, which I think is...
Yeah, later he's like, you can't know what it's like to be judged by the worst mistake that you ever made or whatever. And Brandon's like, actually, I can. And it's like, this is the second time they've equated Brandon's cheating. Or no, it was Kelly, the other episode, where, like, she was equating her being cheated on to being physically abused. Mm-hmm. And now Brandon is equating his cheating on Kelly to murdering a man and spending 20 years in jail.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Not cool.
These fucking white people just wrapped up in their own shit that have no, like, concept of, like, real world problems.
I mean, I don't know how much of a real world problem getting out of jail for murder is for most people.
Seems pretty real world to me.
Still, I mean, I'm just saying, like, a lot of people don't go to prison. People who do go to prison often not for murder, and the ones that do stay there.
No, I understand. I get what you're saying, that not a lot of people experience this.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, like, people that go to jail for murder are, by and large, not rich people in Beverly Hills.
True.
I can think of one specific rich person in Beverly Hills that killed his ex-wife and a waiter.
Right?
That didn't see any jail time for that.
Well, they said that this dude was given $100 and the directions to...
a flop house.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Apparently he was given directions by my dad.
Like, a flop house.
Yeah, it's a 1950s terminology.
What? I mean, I don't really know what a flop house is even supposed to mean.
Here's directions to a flop house, kid.
Is it supposed to be a shelter?
It's, like a shelter, a halfway house, or, like, I don't even think it's a halfway house. It's below that, like a shelter or something like that.
Because,
but it's old terminology.
Yeah, it sounded. I guess it's the writers, right? They're just old.
Yeah, they're just old. They're my dad's age.
So weird.
Or a different age, however old my dad is.
Because I'm just like, I wasn't sure if they mean like a crack house, like what.
No, they mean like, just a fucking place to go to sleep.
It looked like he was in like a motel or something.
Yeah, he got a better place.
But
than
how?
That flop house.
Because he got $100 in his pocket, and he has no job, which is part of the issue of the episode. He has no one in his life.
And maybe the doctor gave him money for the flop house. I don't know. It is such a fucking like weird term.
So then Brandon writes the article and sends it to the dude, who then comes to the paper all pissed off because he's like, you didn't tell me you were going to talk to his son. And nothing comes from that. What was the point of that?
I don't know. Yeah, nothing comes from that at all. You're right. But, like, Brandon's doing an article. Like, what do you expect him to do? Expect him to just be like, here's this guy's story. Not going to check anything else.
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
So he told the guy's story and also the son of the victim's story.
He reached out to the son, to the victim of the son, or the son of the victim.
And somehow, the people out there reading it felt compelled to give this dude a job.
Well, at least one person.
Well, yeah, one person. But I mean, like, this dude, a mechanic guy, called the paper and, said, hey, give him my number. I have a job for him.
You know what's amazing to me is they sit there like this guy called from this fucking auto body shop. And didn't he say he worked at that auto body shop before?
No, he worked part-time as a mechanic when he was 17 before he went to prison.
Okay, but I was going to say the most amazing thing about that is that auto body shop stayed open for 20 years.
No.
But, okay, so they mentioned in the article that was the work that he did.
Yeah.
So some mechanic guys, like, I think, don't they give, like, doesn't the government give, like, a bonus or some kind of extra money or whatever to employ
maybe
convicted criminals?
Like some kind of tax break.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
So that guy must have just been like, oh, I need a tax break. I'm doing too well.
Right.
It's like when Hollywood decides to make a flop because they need to balance the books so they never pay taxes because it's Hollywood accounting. So they say Dustin Hoffman and fucking... what's his name? I can't think of the other guy's name. Why don't you guys star in Ishtar for us?
What?
Elaine May is going to write and direct a movie called Ishtar, and you can be in it.
What's Ishtar?
You never heard of Ishtar?
No, it's like you're speaking a whole other language. You're talking about people.
It's a movie with Warren Beatty and Dustin Hoffman where they play like lounge singers. I'll find audio somehow of the trailer and I'll put it in.
Wow, I'm having deja vu.
Okay.
I feel like we've had this conversation before.
About Ishtar?
Yes. Have we? Have we talked about Ishtar before?
Maybe.
I hope so.
They were just a couple of lounge singers going to Ishtar.
Goodness.
To cut a record.
You know what I think is really weird about this too, though?
What?
This guy's released from prison to Beverly Hills.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, granted, he's at the free clinic, so it's got to be like a suburb of Beverly Hills or like like a different area.
Maybe it's in Beverly Hills. I don't know.
What do the people in Beverly Hills need a free clinic for?
Beverly County. No, I assume that a lot of the people... Well, okay, so Beverly Hills, I think, is near some poor neighborhoods, I think.
I mean,
or there are poor neighborhoods around there. Like Watts isn't that far away, I don't think.
Right, so I'm just thinking the free clinic's probably in one of those areas, and this guy's not actually in Beverly Hills.
It would make more sense if it were, but I think it's supposed to be in Beverly Hills, and all the people from the poor neighborhoods just have to commute.
Sure, that makes lots of sense.
Well, it doesn't make logical sense. If they were gonna, if someone was gonna build a free clinic, they would build it in a poor neighborhood.
Yeah,
they wouldn't build it in a rich neighborhood and say, "All you poor people come to the rich neighborhood."
Yeah,
but I think that's what it is on the show.
Transportation tends to be an issue for poor people. Yeah. Just FYI.
Yeah, agreed. Oh, you mean those buses in California don't run on time? The buses in California are notoriously bad.
I just assume all buses are notoriously bad.
Most
buses are awful.
It's not like New York, where they have mass transit and walking, like it's easily walkable. New York is very easy to get around without a car. LA is not. LA is a car place. Like LA / Beverly County / that Orange County, that whole area, Southern California, that's all car area big time. Like here. Yes. Yeah. No real good mass transit.
There are buses that run from like I knew somebody who took a bus all the way from like downriver to Livonia to work.
Oh, you're talking, okay. A bit of local local reference, everyone.
So that normally would have taken like a 40-minute drive on a bus that takes like more than 2 hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like a 2.5 hour.
It's awful. Awful.
I took a bus to Las Vegas once.
How many days did it take you?
I think it was 3 days, I believe.
Did you get out and sleep anywhere, or did you sleep on the bus?
Slept on the bus mostly. We had layovers. So we went to Chicago first, and then I think Omaha, Nebraska was our next stop.
Okay.
We had like a 4-hour layover in Omaha, Nebraska.
That sounds awful.
And then we had like a day layover in Salt Lake City. Like it was like 12 hours or something like that in Salt Lake City. But yeah, it took a long time.
Yeah. So Another thing we find out in this episode, though, is Kelly's job description.
Yes.
No job title.
No.
But based on the description, I kind of think she's the office manager.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Because she is responsible for paying the bills and everything that makes the office run.
Yeah, paying the bills, making appointments, doing the books, like stuff like that. So, yeah, I agree. I think she's like the office manager. Way to use that psychology degree, Kelly.
Right? Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but anyway.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever.
We just
Apparently, Valerie has a college degree, too, which they point out in this episode, and it's like, I don't even remember her going to college barely at all.
She did, because I remember her going to, like, some seminar that Kelly went to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the one where she got wrapped into the cult or whatever.
But, yeah.
But why, like, what's her degree in? Business? That's
I don't know.
Guess.
I don't know.
Gold digging?
I mean, they all have degrees, don't they? Didn't every single one of them go to college and graduate?
Every one of them went to college. Every one of them graduated.
That seems unlikely. Exactly.
But anyway, so yeah, that dude gets a job and he's great.
So what else was happening with these people? Kelly and Brandon.
Yeah, we can go there next. That dovetails nicely.
Yeah. So, well, we kind of have to talk about the other thing first. Donna's grandma's dying.
Yeah.
And
the nice one too. The one that in their youth looks exactly like Donna and David.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I would look at that picture and I would be like, David, are you adopted? Like, are we fucking related? Like,
yes, it's weird.
I mean, would you, if your grandmother had a picture of her and her husband and it looked exactly like you and your current boyfriend, wouldn't you be freaked out?
Yes. Yes, I would.
Like, that's fucked up.
It is.
If your grandmother, like, like, here's a picture, darling, and, like, it was her, and it looked like me, then you'd be like, you'd even be more like, you're a vampire.
Lich, yeah.
Yeah, you're fucking you're going down my family line, aren't you?
That'd be messed up, though, because that'd make you where you're...
Fuck.
Yeah, ew. Anyway.
But, what if, like, biologically, I wasn't the dad?
Okay.
It's not as bad, but it's still bad.
It's so weird.
Yes.
So Donna...
And it's not what I did, I promise.
Okay. Donna's dad shows up, like how he just conveniently shows up and he's fine now too. Like he had a stroke and was in a wheelchair and all that shit.
Yeah, he's totally
fine.
He's supposed to be running the clinic, but he's just left it to the student or whatever.
Like, is he cashing paychecks for this? Because that's bullshit.
He is. Well, oh, you mean in the show? Yeah. I thought you meant the actor.
No.
I'm like, he is certainly cashing paychecks.
I mean, is her dad getting paid by this clinic? Because he really doesn't seem to deserve it. But he shows up and tells Donna about her grandma. And he's like, you should go see her. And she's like, why? Like, with her big, stupid doe eyes. Sometimes she is the stupidest person. Seriously.
Well, she's going to be okay, right? No, she has a fucking aneurysm, you idiot.
So...
She's a 90-year-old woman.
She drags Noah with her.
She was on Lost in Space or whatever.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I think she was. I think she's the mom on Lost in Space.
Wow.
Audrey Meadows.
Don't you think this is a little bit above his pay grade as far as their relationship? Like, they've barely been dating.
Yeah, this is a lot for him.
Yeah. Like, they're not there yet.
Especially with what happens.
Yeah. I mean, that would make me peace out right there. But yeah, she drags him with her. He doesn't want to go in. He's there for support for her. And she's like, no, I want you to meet her. He's
like, okay, I'll meet her on her fucking deathbed. Cool.
So weird. And then...
I want you to see her eyes before she dies.
They had said to her on her way in that, like, she's on pain medicine. She might be a little out of it. So even though she walks in with Noah, her grandma's like, where's that David? Where's your fella? He loves you so much.
He's the best.
Yeah. So
she's like, what?
Noah just kind of backs into a corner.
Yeah. She's like, I broke up with David. I told you, this is Noah. And she's like, yeah, it's fate. You're going to end up with David.
Yeah.
I talked to the producers of this show. That's their plan.
So then David shows up, which I think is really weird too. Like, I understand that he met the grandma like once and she's all emotionally invested in his relationship with Donna, but they broke up, and he only met her once.
Yeah.
Why is he there?
He loves her. Loves that grandma.
One time he met her. One fucking time.
Twice, I think they met.
Whatever. It's stupid. An ex does not go to the deathbed of somebody's family member who they've only met once or twice.
It is weird. He goes in, gives her a hug and everything. He's everything that fucking Noah isn't.
Right.
And she's like, "Oh, David, you're here. Get this trash out of my room." And, but yeah, and then Donna's all like, "Yeah, like, you don't know her." And like, it pisses me off or whatever. Like, I don't even know how she says it. She talks to Kelly, I think, or something like that. And she's like, "Yeah, you know, like David, it's just easy. He knows her. We have history together. And like, it's nice for him to be around and stuff." And Noah's just like standing there like, you know, like fucking, why doesn't he know what to do at the deathbed of this old woman he's never met?
Yeah, she's being really ridiculous.
It's totally unfair. Like, how is that Noah's fault?
Yeah, none of this is Noah's fault.
Yeah, Noah should have been there for the past 5 years, I guess, Donna. Like, what the fuck?
So the grandma says to David, like, I need you to promise to take care of Donna.
Protect her.
And we find out later when he's talking to Donna, she gave him a locket.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of a lot.
A locket with the picture in there of her and her boyfriend, which is just Donna and David in like, you know, costumes.
Yeah, with pressed flowers. Mm-hmm. And so then everybody after the funeral, because she does die.
And then she gave him a voodoo doll with a locket of Noah's hair.
Oh my God.
Torture him, David.
But she does die in surgery. And everybody comes to Donna's apartment afterwards.
That's another thing, too, where, like, the dad comes out of the room and he's like, you can tell, the guy that plays with Dad's a good actor. Like, you can tell just by his body language that's not good. Mm-hmm. And she's like, "What's wrong? Or what is it, Dad?" And he's like, "Yeah, she's suffering from multiple system failure." And he's like, "I think you might want to go in there and talk to her." And Donna's like, "Why? For what?" And I'm like, "To say goodbye, you fucking moron."
And that's what he says too, minus the moron.
Yeah, he's like, "To say goodbye." So yeah, she goes in there and, like, you know, cries and stuff like that. But yeah, like, it's just another situation where it's like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, what do you think is happening here? So
that is the one good bit of acting she does in this episode, though. Not to, you know, like, Tori Spelling is fine, whatever. But, like, that's exceptional acting that she does in the scene where she's breaking down crying. Like, she does sad probably better than anyone on the show.
Yeah.
Certainly better than Luke Perry's.
His Muppet head screaming.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
But anyway, you're saying everyone comes back to her place after the funeral.
No, she made Noah go with her, and he's there. He's doing his best. He's being a supportive boyfriend.
He's trying.
He has done nothing fucking wrong this whole episode.
Nope.
And when everybody's like taken off, and he's about to leave, or no, David's about to leave. He's like, "You know what? You stay. I'm going to go."
Yeah.
Like, let me give you guys some time because I know you cared about her grandma or whatever.
Yeah, David, you guys have sex.
Which, I'll just be in the corner.
Just film it. And, yeah.
It was a little weird and a little much and too much trust.
Yeah, I agree. I think he was trying to be like, "I'm the cool guy that's above it all and I trust you," you know, or whatever.
Yeah. He was trying to be the bigger man and do his best supportive action.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it was too much. It was a step too far.
Well, it's proven that was a step too far based on what happens.
Well, as soon as he's out the door, they sit like right next to each other on the couch, and it's like that was not good. That's too close. And then he shows her the locket.
Not even enough room for the Holy Spirit between them.
And he shows her the locket, and she starts crying, and then he's like comforting her.
He kisses her cheek.
And then her forehead. And then they do the look, and then they kiss.
Yeah. Long kiss.
Cheating assholes.
And then she breaks it off, and she's like, oh, I can't do this, David.
Which kind of pisses me off. Like, if you're going to do that, then get back together. Like, you obviously still have feelings. You should be together.
Yeah.
Why are you like, oh, no, I can't do this? Like, get rid of Noah.
Yeah.
I was frustrated.
That's actually just a note for the producers.
Right? And he's like, but I promised your grandma I would, take care of you. And she's like, just do it as my friend.
You can do it as a friend.
Yeah, no, if he can't sit next to you without kissing you, he can't take care of you as a friend.
No shit.
Stupid bitch.
And Valerie is, like, upset about the whole thing. Donna comes over after her grandmother dies, and she's like, my grandmother died, and they hug and everything, and they're, like, hugging on each other, and Valerie starts slowly walking down the stairs, just eyeing her.
Well, before that happened, David's new band, Somebody's Law.
Jude's Law?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Plays this song that we've been waiting to hear for weeks. It's not even that good.
No.
And he's not a great singer. Like
no.
He's fine at playing instruments, but he should stick to that.
Well, we should say he's fine at pretending to play instruments. I don't know if the music's actually his or not.
But yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be some great performance, but it's not. This show really sucks at, like, providing quality performances when they're supposed to.
Yeah, the only time that it ever happens is when they have a musical guest on.
Yeah.
That's an actual famous musical guest.
But he sings this love song about how I look at you and I see forever that he wrote for Donna.
Yeah.
And Donna knows that he wrote the song for her.
Right. And Valerie thinks he wrote it for her.
Mm-hmm. And he stupidly allows her to think that for more than a minute.
Yeah. And Noah somehow knows it's for Donna, too.
Yeah.
Because he comes up and he's like, hey, he wrote this song for you. And she's like, he wrote this song a long time ago. He's like, and he's singing it with emotion. Like, what the fuck? What's he supposed to do? And she's like, come on now. Like, and she's like, how did you even know it was for me? He's like, I don't know. How'd your grandma know that that's fucking forever? That's how fate works.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Noah, you're being a little weird.
He was being a little weird, but I mean, like, he's in a weird situation.
Yeah, agreed. It is a weird situation.
So, Valerie, right before Donna has come over because her grandma dies, has been told by David that, oh, this song that you think I wrote for you, I actually wrote it for Donna. He's like, I'm going to write you loads of songs.
Right.
I really will.
But this one I wrote for Donna before we were together.
And she just looks so sad. She's like, of course it was for Donna. Why would I even think it was for me? And
he's moving out this episode into Carly's old place. Because they got to use that set. They paid for it.
Right? So they're terrible. The show's so cheap.
And it's like I thought she kind of was overreacting a little bit. Like, because I was like, he needs space or whatever, And maybe you'll eventually move in there with him because it's, more than one room. And as you pointed out, it's like she does have abandonment issues, though. And it's like, yeah, that's true. She does.
Yeah, she's not taking any of it well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just like kind of like one hit after another there.
And you know what? Honestly, I think she deserves better than what he's giving her. He goes, so she says to him, I don't want you going to the funeral. Now, that's probably too much.
Yeah.
But he's like, why would I not go to the funeral? And she's like, because how about it bothers me? Like, who's more important to you, me or Donna? Or whatever. And he's like, it's not fucking like that or whatever. And he says, look, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be there for her. I'm going to that funeral, whether you like it or not. I'm sorry, Valerie deserves better than that. That's kind of bullshit. To not take her feelings into account at all, to not have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
I think it's wrong for her to be like, you can't go to the funeral of this person that you knew and liked. But at the same time, I get a little bit where she's coming from. And for him to not simply be able to say, look, of course you're more important to me. But that
would be a lie.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the problem.
Yeah.
She deserves someone. I think everyone does. But she deserves someone that is going to put her first. That treats her like she's the number one.
Yeah, she really hasn't had that.
And he's not doing it.
But and just to be clear, though, she didn't say you can't go. She didn't try to tell him what to do. She said, "I'm not going to the funeral, and I wish you wouldn't either." Or
I don't think you should either.
I don't think you should. Yeah,
yeah. She doesn't demand it. You're right. She says what she thinks.
She's letting her feelings be known.
Yeah,
which is okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I do think that to expect him not to go is a little much, but
and if she's that worried about it, she should go.
Agreed. And everyone else was there. All the other friends were there.
And, well, she's not really a friend to
Shanna
anybody.
was there, too, and Ross. And all the friends were there.
Right. What was weird, too, though,
Could this woman be any more dead?
Oh, my God.
It did not go over well at the funeral.
The doctor asked Kelly, he said he was going to the funeral, asked if she was going, and then said, I'll pick you up at 10:30 or something like that, like they're going to go together.
That's a very weird thing to do. Too.
Yeah, like, first of all, a funeral is not a date event.
Yeah, it's a date. This dead woman in the corner.
He doesn't even know her.
No.
He's going because the doctor who just recently hired him's mother died. Like, come on.
Yeah. To pay his respects or whatever. Dr. Martin.
Yeah.
Doc Martin. I think it's one of those situations where, like, you know how sometimes there'll be, like, a physician's assistant or whatever that runs a practice or whatever, but they have a doctor over them that does nothing but signs the fucking prescriptions and stuff like that. I'll bet that's what Donna's dad, Mr. Martin, is doing.
Yeah.
Dr. Martin is doing.
That makes sense.
He's just signing the prescriptions. And he might come in once a week or something like that to be like, hey, did you kill anybody? Okay, good, cool, and just sign off.
So Kelly agrees to go with him. And I'm just saying, like, David, no date. Valerie stays home, but Kelly and the doctor go together.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Kelly and the doctor. It's a new morning TV show.
And
Kelly and the doctor.
When she comes in at the end into the house, Brandon is in her bedroom on her phone. And I'm thinking,
talking to his mommy.
The whole time, I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Is he in her room? What is he doing? And you said, where is he calling? Because he dialed so many numbers.
He did dial a bunch of numbers.
And I realized he's on the phone with this person. Like, he's making an international phone call on their phone. Right. Rude.
But it's funny to me that the producers anticipated how angry you would be at that. Because he has a little throwaway line of, I used a calling card.
Yeah, and he's like, I just needed somewhere quiet to be. And she's like, it's okay, I don't mind. How do you not mind that your ex-boyfriend you won't even talk to is in your bedroom right now?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird. And then she's
playing
like
with your rosary.
And then she's all, yeah, he's touching her shit too.
Are they all Catholic? There's
know.
a lot of Catholic iconography. How's that word?
What?
Iconography. That's how it's pronounced.
Interesting.
There's a lot of Catholic iconography around this show.
I hadn't noticed. Yeah. But maybe.
I think the creator is Darren
Well, they're not all
Star.
Catholic. Some of them are Jewish.
I think Darren Star is Catholic. And he likes Jews or whatever. He works with a lot of Jews because he's in Hollywood.
So then they have a conversation.
They do.
And it's a decent, like, human conversation.
Well, he says that he's glad that she sent him the convict because he learned how to do time.
Yeah.
How to stick up for his, how to, like, do penance or whatever on what he did. And he talks about how, like, he was being all selfish and shit, thinking about everything from his point of view. And he's like, I didn't think about what you lost, your relationship, place where you had to live. She goes, you.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, exactly.
Do you think they're getting back together?
Yes. I think they set it up, too, when Donna's like, maybe you should give that second chance to Brandon. She's really pushing for her. The last 3 episodes, she's said stuff to try to get her back with Brandon. Well, and she goes, no one, she's like, I feel like a fool or whatever. And she's like, no one would blame you. And she looks right at the camera. And she's like, that includes you, audience, right? And there was a poll. It's like, dial this number and press 1 now or whatever if you think she should get back together with Brandon.
Kelly is like, I blame myself, though. Like, whatever. damn, oh, I had a thought and it was a good one and it's gone now. I hate when that happens.
What was it? Was it about when you said, I think they're going to get back together? That was the question you asked.
No, it's about Donna. Think about where Donna's coming from when she's throwing her opinion out here, though. She stayed with an abusive guy and a guy who cheated on her.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of times.
Twice.
So.
Two guys cheated on her.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Because the abuser cheated on her with Valerie. And David.
She didn't know that, though.
David cheated on her. She found out later.
With Ariel.
Yeah, with Ariel. And got crabs. Got Sebastian or whatever. Is the crab's name? Sebastian?
Yeah. So Donna will pretty much forgive anyone for anything as long as, she loves them.
Yeah.
And she just assumes that's what Kelly should do, too.
Except when it comes to money.
Right?
Stealing money. That's the Jewish in her.
Yeah. Beat me, cheat on me, all good. Steal my money, fuck you.
But she's Catholic in the show.
Yeah. It's weird.
I like how much you agreed with that statement.
Is there anything else? Are we forgetting some big plot line that we haven't? Okay, I had a feeling.
My favorite plot line, the last one.
Okay.
But my favorite plot line from the show. This is what the show should be more often, most of the time. So Steve goes into the peach pits.
This was stupid.
Double parks his car, so he's behind somebody. But that's what the show should be most often. Like, this is an actual, comedic situation. The writers were actually right. What's a funny situation we could put them in? And they came up with something. But she's like, oh, yeah, you blocked in my girlfriend yesterday. And he's like, oh, sorry about that. And then he starts talking about Brandon. He's like, yeah, I live with... I've got a partner to get to or whatever. And she's like, you have a partner? He's like, oh, yeah, we work together. She goes, oh, do you guys work together? And he's like, yeah, we work together. We live together. This relationship's the best one I've ever had or whatever. He really is talking like Brandon's his boyfriend.
Yeah.
And she says, why don't me and my girlfriend and you and your boyfriend go out for dinner sometime? And she says, your boyfriend. And he's got this, suave smile on his face. Like he's just... stepped in a fucking briar patch, and he's like, oh, yeah, let's do a double date.
Yeah, I think he just wasn't listening. I don't think he had enough blood in his head anymore.
Right. So, anyway, they have a date, or whatever. They eat
They
lunch.
meet for lunch.
They meet for lunch, and Brandon doesn't want to be there, so he's all like, and they talk about how, being faithful or whatever is, really important in a relationship, and they start fighting, the two of them.
Steve and Brandon. So it looks to these girls like they're having a lover's tiff or whatever.
Like Steve cheated on Brandon.
Yeah, because Brandon cheated on Steve, I think is the way it was coming across.
I think it was coming across as Steve cheated on Brandon because Brandon's like, no, actually I'm not over it yet. And Steve's like, oh, come on, Brandon.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's go talk about it in private.
So then the ladies, after Brandon storms off, invite Steve to bring Brandon to their house for dinner. Why are these lesbians so invested in trying to make friends with these dudes?
I don't know. Well, they think they're gay guys.
Yeah, but still.
Gay guys and lesbians, gay guys and lesbians don't, have natural friendships. They're, kind of combative with each other.
So it's kind of weird, but again, the writers are the writers.
Yeah. But she's like, I'll tell you what, we'll provide, you and your boyfriend will provide the romance. Mm-hmm. And he's thinking oh my God, we're in.
Yeah, he keeps saying that to Brandon. We're so in. They have a hot tub. Mm-hmm. And they're all excited about the fucking hot tub.
So then, they come there and everything, and he's like, hey, why don't you give me a tour of the house? And so one of them gives the tour of the house. And she's like, this is the bedroom. And it's it's all fucking red lit and everything, Stanley Kubrick fucking staged this bedroom.
It is quite the bedroom.
And she's like, there's the bed. And he's like, oh, is that your bedroom or her bedroom? She's like, no, it's our bedroom. And we live together.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, he gets it right away. And then Steve comes over and he's like, hey, why don't you and I go in the hot tub first? And she's the blonde one is like, you and her? And he's like, "Oh, you want to go with Brandon or whatever?" And Brandon's like, "Think of another configuration."
That was funny.
Yeah, that was That was funny.
I gotta ask though, what do you think he thought was going to happen in the hot tub that they have to go separately?
Oh, he thought they were going to fuck.
That's ridiculous. You just met these women.
And by the way, who wants to go second in that scenario?
Right? Ew. Gross.
Let me skim the hot tub real quick.
You know they have these places where you can just rent a hot tub for an hour?
No, I'm aware.
It's disgusting.
I've never been, but I'm aware.
Some guy tried to take me to one of those places.
Oh my
and
God.
I said, fuck that.
Yeah, because you were with me, right?
No.
Oh, okay. It's before me.
What the fuck?
Well, we've been together so long, Carol. I mean, I don't even know anymore.
I know. It has been forever, hasn't it?
But yeah.
Of course, there was nobody before you ever.
Yeah, exactly. That's. I should give you there should be a pill, like an amnesia pill, where you just forget your life before you're with the person.
You know what though?
What?
That would make us different people.
I agree. It would suck.
Yeah.
But for the bit, it's good.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
So anyway, Brandon's for some reason, Brandon's hugs Steve, or Steve hugs Brandon, and they're like, "Oh, you two aren't gay?" And they're all of a sudden they separate from each other as fast as possible.
Like they jump apart.
It's so ridiculous. They have a case of the not gays, where it's no, we love tits, and shit. It's so stupid.
I have such an issue with this because Steve is not that stupid. And I mean,
they do treat him like an
you'd have
idiot
to be
episode.
really, really stupid to not understand the situation.
And Brandon gets it right away. So.
Yeah. Well, Brandon is smarter than Steve.
He is smarter than Steve, but Steve's not a moron.
No.
Sometimes they treat Steve like he's a fucking golden retriever.
Right?
But yeah, so, and that part always bothers me too. And they're like, oh, we're not gay. Like it's the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, they're boys.
Yep. But that is, I think, everything.
It is. So you can write us at latefee1994@AOL.com.
Yes.
Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yes.
And share the tapes with your friends.
All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.